So obviously, I want to get into a little bit of your training, man. You train, and
Yeah.
you're not just a fan of the sport, but you actually train. So talk about that a little bit. Like, what kind of styles do you train in from like before, like when you first started out till now?
Mhm. Yeah, look, I mean, I'm completely, I'm obsessed with it. So Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. And it started for me, funny enough, it started with Muay Thai. It's when I went on my honeymoon to Bali and to Thailand.
Hmm.
And so when we went through Bangkok and Phuket, obviously pre, aka Thailand, otherwise I would have been there.
Yeah.
I mean, Muay Thai was everywhere. And I had like boxed a little bit, like after college, like just I wasn't very good or anything, but like, took a bunch of boxing classes and lessons, but I always wanted to do Muay Thai. Then I get to Thailand and it is everywhere. I mean,
Hmm.
you can buy the shorts anywhere. You could see a fight in a bar. You could see a fight, in an arena. It's everywhere, right? National sport, right? And I want to try it so bad. And so I have the most amazing time in Thailand, by the way. Loved it so much. Love the people, love the food. The food is just incredible.
Yeah.
Still, one of my favorite restaurants in the entire world, still to this day, is in the Banyan Tree Resort.
Divine
It's
tree.
called
Yeah.
Saffron. Yep. And there's a restaurant called Saffron in there in the Banyan Tree is so astounding. I think we ate there so many times on our honeymoon. But anyway, I come home and I'm like, okay, I have to find a Muay Thai gym. I have to. Enough. But I was living in West LA. There weren't any at the time. I'm talking
Yeah.
like this is like I don't know, 12 years ago now or something, 10, 12 years ago. There just weren't, there's boxing gyms, but there's no MMA gyms really in the West Side. And I'm trained early in the morning because I got to go to work and I can't drive to, Glendale or North Hollywood. I just can't do it. So then The Bachelor is on and they're in Thailand. And I'm like flipping through the channels. I stop on it because I see them doing Muay Thai. And it makes me think, fuck, I'm just going to Google it one more time. This is like a year later. Da-da-da-da. There's a gym and it's 5 minutes from my house. I am ecstatic. I get in my car like the next morning. I think it would happen to be a Saturday. I get in. There's like a brick building, kind of cool industrial space called Robot Fight and Fitness. Bunch of jujitsu guys started it who were like went to UCLA. They're like the jujitsu club at UCLA. Bang on the door. I think there's no one there. The door opens. There's this dude there, and he is just jacked, no shirt on,
Yeah.
shorts. He's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, I would love to train here." He goes, "Yeah, you want to train?" He's like, "Okay, we'll call this number on Monday. She'll be back in. We'll do it." And then I just started training Muay Thai there religiously. I was going like 3 or 4 times a week. Loved it so much. Shins, just you remember when I'm sure when you first started, I would literally have to turn on like the jacuzzi at my house in the morning before I left, like I'm blasting hot, so that when I came home I could just go in it because I just like my feet and my shins, like getting them, hardened up and calloused and all that stuff. But I was obsessed. But the whole time I'd be standing there and I'd be looking over my shoulder and be people doing jujitsu on the mats, and I was kind of mesmerized by jujitsu. But real fact about me, I've had a torn labrum in my shoulder for 15 years, maybe more. Started baseball and it kept going to snowboarding accident, dislocated again, like horrible. And I've refused to have surgery. It's Mike, it's so bad that I just went and had it looked at recently and they told me that honestly, I just need a shoulder replacement and I'm not doing
Oh.
it. So I would look at jujitsu. I'm like, I don't think I can do that because, the shoulder stuff. Then I meet Rhonda. And I meet Jesse Katz, who started Roots of Fight.
Mhm.
And like simultaneously, Jesse, I start talking about, I train Muay Thai, but I really want to do jiu-jitsu too. And he says, oh, well, you need to meet, Rener and Ryron Gracie. And I was like, oh, please. Okay. Yeah, I would love that. And then it turns out that Rhonda is being coached by Rener and Ryron. And I did the whole thing with Rhonda, like, yeah, but my shoulder. And she's like, shut up, dude. She's like, trust me. They're phenomenal coaches. They'll take care of your shoulder and like you can train around it. And so, here I am. It's been like 8 years, I think. Now I've got my purple belt. I've never had a bad day with the shoulder, even though I've had some bad days, but like I'm still going, working through, fighting through it. I think jujitsu has been Muay Thai too, but really jujitsu has been like a real major part of my life, like just mentally, and has nothing as much as it has to do with like the actual physical learning of it. And I'm not the first person to say this, but what it's done for my life. I mean, I think the whole philosophy behind it, I think especially for times like right now, of learning how to be comfortable in really uncomfortable situations, right?
Yeah.
And learning how to, and when you can do that enough, it kind of makes everything else a lot easier,
Yeah.
and how to handle it. And man, the people, I mean, Rener and Ryron and their families and the people that I've met through them, and just the camaraderie, as you're at your gym or any gym that, that you go to. There's not a lot like it. I've been, a lot of sports, played a lot of football, a lot of locker rooms, but there's something about being, around some of the gyms. It's just been so great for me. And I do not see, I mean, I wanted to just like put on a gi today just to like put one on because I haven't been able to, be on a mat in
Yeah.
so long. And I miss it so much, but I'm literally watching videos right now, like all over the internet, whether it's the Gracies or all like the old fights or, guys like Marcelo, Garcia, where you can like, I'm literally like Daniel LaRusso right now in Karate Kid watching, remember
Yeah.
when he would like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like learning how to karate by a book. Well, that's me right now. I need it. And I've loved it. And I love the journey. And I honestly, I don't see, I mean, I'll be 75 trying to still do it. I'm noticeably different, when I'm training. Like if I can get like 3 or 4 sessions in a week, maybe, or even 2 or 3, if I can do that, then if for some reason I had to travel and I couldn't get on the mats for a week, it's really been an awesome journey. And I've turned so many people onto it too. I'm a
Yeah.
great pitch man for that. Well, I've
Selling
turned a
that,
lot
huh?
of people onto it. Yeah, and they stuck to it. So that's been really gratifying. Also, kind of sharing, sharing whatever knowledge and just like the love of it.